Welcome to House Lux Estate, the channel where we delve into the unseen. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on the pharmaceutical industry, an industry that is as complex as it is crucial, often shrouded in mystery and misconception. We're about to break down some of the most surprising facts that lie at the heart of this behemoth, facts that may change your perspective entirely. So, buckle up and prepare for a journey into the heart of the medical world. Kicking things off, did you know that the pharmaceutical industry is one of the most profitable sectors worldwide? It's an industry that operates on an immense scale. Every year, it generates hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue. And while it's true that a significant portion of these funds goes towards research and development, the profit margins are still jaw-dropping. We're talking about profits that often exceed those of the oil and gas industry, and that's saying something. It's a sector that thrives on the production and sale of life-saving medications, contributing to the well-being of society. Yet, it's also an industry that's driven by the bottom line. This brings us face to face with a paradox. An industry that saves lives and yet is driven by profits. It's a delicate balance, a dance between the altruistic mission of saving lives and the hard-nosed pursuit of profit. Despite its life-saving mission, the pharmaceutical industry is a business first and foremost. Speaking of profits, the price of medication isn't always linked to the cost of production. It's a common misconception that the cost of the raw materials in a pill is directly proportional to its price tag. But the reality is a bit more complex. The calculation of medication pricing is a multifaceted process, involving not just the cost of materials, but also the expenses incurred during the research and development phase. Pharmaceutical companies spend years, sometimes decades, and billions of dollars in research, testing, and trials before a drug can hit the market. These companies are not just paying for the physical production of the medication, they're also trying to recoup the massive investment made in its development. And let's not forget about the costs of marketing, administration, and distribution, which also factor into the final price. Sometimes, the price tag is more about recouping investments than the actual production cost. Next up, patents play a huge role in the pharmaceutical industry. They are essentially a government-issued license that gives a company the exclusive right to produce, sell, and profit from a particular invention for a set period, usually 20 years. This exclusivity period allows companies to recoup the often substantial costs of research and development. However, this can also lead to a lack of competition. With no alternatives on the market, companies can set high prices for their patented drugs, often making them unaffordable for many people in need. Consider the case of life-saving medications like insulin or EpiPens, where skyrocketing prices have led to public outcry. Moreover, sometimes companies employ strategies to extend their patents, like making minor changes to a drug's formulation. This practice, known as evergreening, can further delay the availability of cheaper, generic versions of drugs. In conclusion, patents can be a double-edged sword, protecting innovation but also potentially limiting access to medication. On to our fifth fact, a lot of pharmaceutical research isn't as groundbreaking as you might think. In the vast and complex world of pharmaceuticals, there's a surprising prevalence of Me Too drugs. Now, what are Me Too drugs, you ask? Simply put, they are drugs that are structurally very similar to already existing drugs, with only minor modifications. Rather than forging new frontiers, many pharmaceutical companies focus on these Me Too drugs. While they do have their benefits, such as offering more options to patients, they often don't represent significant advances in treating diseases. The criticism here is that much of the industry's research and development efforts are spent on creating these tweaked versions of existing drugs, rather than on truly innovative research that could lead to groundbreaking new treatments. The quest for profit can sometimes lead to more of the same, rather than new breakthroughs. This is a reality of research in the pharmaceutical industry that we all need to be aware of. Halfway through, let's talk about marketing. It's a major part of the pharmaceutical industry. This isn't just about glossy magazine ads and TV commercials. It's a well-oiled machine that operates on an entirely different scale. The pharmaceutical industry spends billions every year to promote its products. And it's not just about reaching doctors and pharmacists. It's about reaching you. Ever heard of direct-to-consumer advertising? It's one of the few industries where it's allowed. This is where you see those ads about a new miracle drug, followed by a long list of potential side effects. This is an incredibly effective way of getting patients to ask their doctors about specific medications. It's a controversial practice, but it works. The marketing strategies of pharmaceutical companies are often as sophisticated as the drugs they're promoting. So next time you see a drug ad, remember, the pills you take might be as much a product of marketing as they are of medicine. Fact 7. The pharmaceutical industry operates within a complex web of regulations. It's a roller coaster ride that companies must navigate diligently. Regulatory bodies like the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, play a pivotal role. They oversee the approval of new drugs and monitor their safety post-marketing. It's not just about creating a cure. It's about proving its safety and efficacy through rigorous testing and trials. Each country has its own regulatory body and rules, making the process even more intricate for companies operating globally. Compliance is no easy feat. It's a perpetual balancing act between innovation and regulation, between curing diseases and ensuring patient safety. Regulations influence every aspect of the industry, from research and development to marketing and pricing. These rules are essential for maintaining public trust and safety. However, they also pose significant challenges, often slowing down drug development and increasing costs. Regulation is crucial for safety, but it can also create a multitude of hurdles for the industry. Next, clinical trials are a critical but often misunderstood part of the pharmaceutical process. These trials are the gatekeeper between a promising drug discovery and a medicine that's safe and effective for patients. So how do they work? Well, it all begins with preclinical testing, where scientists test a new drug on cells and animals. If the results are promising, we move on to the clinical trials, split into 3 main stages. Phase 1 involves a small group of healthy volunteers to assess the drug's safety and dosage. Phase 2 expands to more participants, typically those with the condition the drug aims to treat, to evaluate effectiveness and side effects. Lastly, in Phase 3, the drug is given to large groups to confirm its effectiveness, monitor side effects, compare it to commonly used treatments, and collect information that will allow the drug to be used safely. The entire process can take anywhere from 10 to 15 years and cost upwards of $1 billion. The road from research to your medicine cabinet is long and arduous. Nearing the end, let's look at generic drugs. They're a big player in the pharmaceutical world. You see, when a brand name drug's patent expires, other manufacturers can produce and sell a generic version. These alternatives are often significantly cheaper, making them more accessible to a broader audience. They contain the same active ingredients as their brand name counterparts, meaning they should work just as effectively. However, there's been some controversy surrounding the quality and effectiveness of these generic alternatives. Some argue that the inactive ingredients, which can vary between brand name and generic drugs, could potentially impact the drug's effectiveness. Moreover, there are concerns about the manufacturing standards of some companies producing generic drugs, particularly those based in countries with lax regulatory oversight. While these concerns are valid, it's important to note that many generic drugs are just as safe and effective as their brand name equivalents. Generic drugs offer a cost-effective alternative, but they're not without their own set of challenges. Finally, the future of the pharmaceutical industry is tied to technology. The landscape of this sector is evolving, with artificial intelligence and precision medicine at the forefront. These emerging technologies are set to revolutionize the way we approach healthcare. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is taking a lead role in drug discovery. It's equipped to analyze vast amounts of data, making the process of identifying potential new medicines significantly faster and more efficient. AI is also being used to predict patient responses to treatments, enabling personalized care on a level we've never seen before. In the realm of precision medicine, we're moving away from the one-size-fits-all approach. Instead, treatments are being tailored to individual patients based on their genetic makeup. This personalized approach has the potential to dramatically improve treatment outcomes and reduce side effects. Furthermore, technology is streamlining the clinical trial process. Virtual trials are becoming more prevalent, reducing the need for physical locations and making participation more accessible for patients globally. This not only speeds up the process, but also broadens the diversity of participants. In the pharmaceutical supply chain, blockchain technology is being explored to improve traceability and prevent counterfeit drugs from entering the market. This tech promises a safer, more secure supply chain for pharmaceuticals. As we look to the future, the pharmaceutical industry is set for a technological revolution. The integration of these technologies will enhance every aspect of the industry, from drug discovery to patient care, promising a future of improved health outcomes and efficient practices. And there you have it, 10 things you didn't know about the pharmaceutical industry. We've navigated the profit paradox, uncovered the price of pills, delved into patent predicaments, and revealed the reality behind research. We've explored the marketing machine, ridden the regulation roller coaster, faced the truth of clinical trials, played the generic game, and glimpsed into the future forecast. We hope you found this enlightening. Don't forget to subscribe to House Lux Estate for more deep dives into fascinating topics. Until next time.